Japanese, we kind of did a video meet and greet, where we talked to each other. But I've never met any of them in person, any of the Japanese actors. And I haven't met any of the writers, except for when I first auditioned and I didn't know who any of them were because there were like 30 people that were sitting out there. So you get all nervous, you don't want to, And now I wish I had actually met the creator, and some of the people, some of the artists that do the renderings and stuff like that. But you never get to meet them really. Yeah.
Do you actually remember your lines from the audition for Naruto at all?
No. You don't have to remember any of your lines for animation, which is, that is one good thing about it, Like, the difference between liking one or the other is, when you're doing television, the lines change every night. I'll get a script revision at like 10 o'clock at night. And then the next day, come in and try and work this thing, and you might remember lines, you might not. When I auditioned for Shameless, I had 8 pages to memorize. And you just do the best you can, But one of the beauties of cartoons is that, one, you don't have to put makeup on. People always say you can go in your pajamas and record, but every time I've done that, there's like a Make-A-Wish kid there. I'm like, oh, sorry. You go home and change. Harrison Ford's in the lobby. You're like, hey. That's always fun walking in a voiceover studio because, we'll all be chummy because we're there all the time and all of a sudden you'll come out and be like, oh my God, it's Spock. Everybody freaks out. You see a lot of people coming and going. They don't know who we are. Then their kids do, and then they'll come back and be like, hey, kid watches your cartoon. Kind of fun. Anybody else? No? Yeah.
Questions? No? I wanted to ask.
The Sasuke! Boy. It's early. You get me here tomorrow? I'll throw my voice. What's my opinion about it? I thought it was heartbreaking. And I thought it was, the funny thing about that fight is we took a lot of time to do that, more time than we would do other episodes, because it was so important, and because it comes back a lot. But it's, obviously if you've ever lost a friend or something, you can imagine, but this is even higher stakes than that, because to him that's his family, right? That's like his brother. He didn't have any brothers. And so, and not only that, but the stakes are even higher than that because, of course, it's life and death. It's not just like, having a friend that you kind of don't get along with anymore. So, but the weird thing is that I have to keep revisiting it because we'll do a different game and they'll redo that part of the fight. So I've not just done it the one time for those episodes. I've had to relive sort of that moment like 30 times. But it doesn't get any easier because you got to commit to it being just as important the 30th time as you did when I recorded the actual fight the first time in the episode. And can I do it? Okay. Just a yell. All right. Oh, it's loud. Ooh. Eee. All right. Sasuke! That wasn't very good, sorry. I'll get better tomorrow. It's hard, you work your way into those kind of big dramatic moments. Where you gotta kind of like whimper and cry. Actually warm up my voice instead of chewing gum and drinking Diet Coke. With the whiskey shot on the side. No. Yeah.
Keep trying.
Oh. Well, I'm not the bartender, but if you find her. No. I'm just, yeah. Yes.
So when you're getting lines for an audition for an animated thing, be it Nickelodeon, anime, whatever, do they actually give you lines from the show, or are you given like sample lines to test your range on a character?
No, it's actual lines from the show, like the pilot or whatever. Like, for instance, the Nick thing that I got today that I haven't done yet is They've given me the lines from the pilot. For another thing that I did for Nickelodeon this year, a pilot that I did, what they did was an abbreviated pilot. So they're only animating like a 9-minute thing instead of a 23-minute thing. So we just did sort of a 9-minute version of the show. And that's very trendy right now in animation. So they don't test it out with the whole 23 minutes. They might not, so they don't spend as much money animating the whole 23 minutes. So you always get, like, in the pilot, you get all, I mean, you won't get all the lines you're going to do. You'll get a sampling of the lines you're going to do, but they are lines from the show. And it might be slightly, if you get the job, it might be slightly rewritten by the time you get there. And anything can be kind of rewritten by the time you get there, but as long as you're in the ballpark, you're fine. In TV, it can be rewritten, it's rewritten on the set all the time. Like, sometimes I'm like, what? What do I have to say? Okay. Because they'll give you alternates and they'll change it on the set, especially in sitcoms. So you have to really concentrate hard. It's kind of like a focus thing. People that aren't good at memorizing lines aren't as good at television acting because it moves faster. Film they can probably handle because once a film is kind of set, it's kind of set. And it moves slowly, very slowly. Like a page a day is what you shoot in film, generally. I mean, independents, of course, you'll shoot faster. But in big features, it could be a page a day. I did Transformers 3 and they never gave me the script. Me or a bunch of people. Like, we went in and improvised what we were going to do, and then we got there and Michael Bay was like, so, you guys know what the movie's about? And we were all like, no. Like, a bunch of robots, they fight the other robots, that's it, you're in the office. We're like, okay. And then he'd come up to us and the camera would be there and there'd be 150 crew people and he'd be like, all right, I want you to say like, oh my God, what are you doing right here? Is that guy going to jump out the window? Okay, go. And they'd be like, what? Did you just say, what did I have to say? Sweating, nervous. Then you'd say it, and, none of it would end up in the movie. Because apparently that movie's about robots. Anyway.